Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Top dog in a subculture. Now, one of the things, I've been talking about class and culture, subcultures a lot because they play a big part in relationships. I even did a video one time talking about attraction is biology filtered through culture. Shout out Tornado. He's a young man in my inner circle who first mentioned that. And he had a great point because it's a reality. Now, there's all this talk about, looks, and Chad, Tyrone, whatever, 80-20. But see, the thing is, that's based on one cultural paradigm. When you talk about culture, it's still a looks thing, but then do you fit into that particular culture? And each culture, each subculture has a distinct, I would say, icon for what is considered the top man, the top dog and everything. Like you have, like within the, in these spaces, people talk about Chad and, not Chad and Tyrone. Well, yeah, but specifically like in the black male YouTuber spaces, there's always talk, and it comes up every few years about Pookie and Ray Ray. And those are top dogs, like that thug look, tats and everything. They are top dogs in lower class black communities and stuff. But if you talk about more upper class, more bougie communities, well, the top dog isn't going to be that guy with the tats and all of that. The top dog is going to be that clean cut dude with that nice tailored suit on and everything. But then it could be slightly different in a community, a subculture that is based on religion. Because let me use a black community. And one of the reasons, of course, all communities have subcultures, but within the black community, a lot of people, especially on the outside, and even some on the inside, don't seem to acknowledge the nuances and the differences. Even though there's a lot of overlap, there are distinct classes, there are distinct subcultures and stuff. So, maybe the guy who's, in a subculture that's very centered on the church, he's going to look different. That top guy, like the women, they're going to want that type of guy who looks like that good church going young man or something. That's the top dog. It could be whatever in a criminal subculture or something. It's going to be a certain type of look. Okay, you see I'm wearing this symbol right here. There are subcultures within the black community where this means a whole lot. This means a whole lot. So the image is, okay, you seeing that, okay. Because I even had a few women, black women, comment and say, oh, I see that symbol on the wall. Yeah, I know what that means and stuff. But it's different things, and it's not always the same physicality or anything or the same look. Like, let me use in the black community again. One of the communities I'll deal with, because I have several friends that is the natural hair community, the natural hair. So the women in those communities, first of all, they ain't wearing weaves and stuff, they're wearing their hair natural. I found the type of men that they go for might be the type to wear locks, even free-flowing locks and everything, or have, put a real emphasis on the hair, But then you have another community more, I would say closer to like what's considered within the black community more mainstream. If you have a shaved head and a big beard, that's considered something. Even in the natural hair community, having that beard and everything. So it's a different look. And of course, even though I'm using the black community, it's definitely prevalent within the white community and other communities. Like within the white community, you get guys always talking Chad, but that's more that upper middle class preppy look. In fact, there was a recent, there's a show on Netflix. It's talking about Abercrombie and Fitch and everything. If you look at them, they were promoting that preppy look and style and everything. However, the top dog in a trailer park is going to be different, or the top dog in like a tattoo subculture, or a goth subculture and everything. See, that's the important thing. See, the thing is, you can't get past it. See, understand in relationships, biology definitely plays a point. Biology, I mean, seriously, we can't get past that. Because what are we drawing together for? We drawing together to mate. That's one of the things. So that's going to play a part. But then it's filtered through whatever culture we grow up in. It's filtered. Like I always tell the story back before we could share pictures and everything, when met this woman through this email group, and we could just exchange numbers. Exchanging pictures, you had to actually like get a stamp out and mail the pictures. The technology at the time, even though it was developing, it was hard to get something online. So, we're talking, everything's good, but because I didn't fit the cultural paradigm that she was in, she was like, well, do you have earrings and tats? And I was like, no. All of a sudden, boom. But if I dealt with another type of woman who was more quote unquote bougie, more upper middle class, they be like, well, I don't want you to wear it. In fact, I remember one time, and this was a young lady that I lived in the same building with. Now, even though this is an expensive building, and even though I had a bigger apartment than she did, she thought I was lower class because of how I was dressing, because she was definitely strongly upper middle class. And indeed, the guy that she ended up with, and a couple guys, because she was fine, so a couple guys that worked in the building, lived in the building, be checking her out. The guy she got with didn't look like that stereotypical, he didn't look like that stereotypical guy that some guys would think women would go for. He definitely didn't look like a thug and stuff. Total nice guy, totally clean cut. And, people were like, why she wear him? I was like, that's her style. Because I saw her parents, and her father looked the same. All of those things come in there. And see, you got to think. And a player I knew when I first came out with my book, Nice Guys and Playas, he was talking about, I have the archetype of Mr. Goodbar. That's the guy who's totally, got raw sex appeal. And he had pointed out something. I was like, okay. I had to think about it for a bit. I ain't take it right away. Like, one thing about me, and I mentioned this in my video on Saturday, I'm slow to change. Once I stand on something, you got to show me something. And I got to think about it first before I change my thought on something. And I ain't really changed my thought on this. I just added to it. He said, different cultures and stuff would have different good bars. And he had a point. So, when we talk about different groups, they're going to have a different top dog. And see, the thing what you have to do, if you want to compete with them, or you thinking, okay, what do I need to do? Well, like I always say, you still need to be your best self, but then don't try to compete with that guy who's not in your particular subculture. You don't need to. Like, I'll use myself for an example. I'm not trying to compete with Pookie and Ray Ray. That's why I've mentioned this in several videos. I'm not that. I have no problems looking out. I have no problems looking the way I do and stuff. All my tats are every scar I've gotten in life. Every time I scrape myself, got cut, got a bruise from fighting or something like that. And I'm good with that and stuff. And, I ain't trying to have a funky haircut, all that stuff. I'm going to be me. But I attract certain women who are in that more cultural milieu. So that's the thing. That's the important thing. You always want to think, okay, where am I? What's my community? What do I need to be the top man and stuff? Don't worry about that other community. Don't worry about trying to look like some fashion model. And that's even across racial lines. Like, you got some guys talking about some Chad. But if you go, I have to bring this up. Because you get some guys say, well, if you don't look like a Chad, it's over. Okay, maybe with some white women, but if you like of a different race, if you're a black man, shoot, you gotta look different. You know, because this is a totally different vibe what the women are going to go for. Like I remember there was this website. Somebody shared a website on this message board I would used to freaking. Now I can't remember the exact one, ironically, but they were talking about, you know, had these ideal bodies and stuff, and it was all like white men, but sisters were saying, hey, where's Thor? They were saying they had that more thicker body type. So you got to think, okay, what community you in, what ethnic group, what race you in. Okay, what's the top dog for that group? Don't worry about like, and let's be real, it's thousands. That's why you might get, and I talked about this before, I forgot what I called it exactly, but I'll put a link for it in the description box. Outlier Goodbars or something like that. I've done so many videos and everything. You know, alternative. You got guys in alternative communities where, you know, in the mainstream, they might not get any attention, but as long as they in that alternative community, oh, they getting all the play in the world. Very important to understand. Very important. So, anyway, that's all I have for today. I'm gonna get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.